Advanced settings for DebugBear synthetic tests allow you to customize how tests are run. For example, you can accept cookie banners, test staging websites, or block third-party requests. There are 9 advanced settings in total. In this video, we'll take a look at 7, while performance budgets and login and search flow settings will have their own dedicated videos. Let's take a closer look at each of these settings, including some examples. With this setting, you can test the performance of a page where the browser cache is already warmed up from a previous website visit. By default, DebugBear will warm the cache by loading the test URL once before collecting the performance data. You can also warm the cache by visiting a different page first. To do that, disable the warm cache using test URL option and set up a user flow that runs prior to the main page test. One useful case for this is to test product pages where a user has already visited the page. In this example, we can see a product with the warm cache enabled by default. Let's go into the page settings, expand the warm load section and click on Enable Warm Load, then we can run the test again. When reviewing the new request waterfall, we can see the cache badge has been added to a majority of the requests in the request waterfall, most notably the LCP image request, with the request duration decreasing by almost 1 second. Due to the cache, the LCP score has improved from 1.98 seconds to 1.24 seconds, giving us a greater idea of how cache affects returning visitors. When inspecting the film strip, we can see a big difference as content renders with the LCP image, whereas previously the load duration of the LCP image caused a delay in the image appearing on the page. Setting cookies can be useful for different scenarios. For example, enabling A/B tests or feature flags to preserve items in a shopping cart. The most common case for setting cookies is to remove consent banners. To do this, you must find the relevant cookie in the Application tab of the browser, then copy and paste the correct values into the cookie form. Save the cookie setting and update the page settings, then run the test again. When we reload the new test results, we can see a difference in the rendering film strip as the cookie banner is no longer present. This cookie is now saved and can be applied across all tests on your website using the bulk edit option on the project dashboard. HTTP basic authentication restricts website access by asking visitors to enter a username and password. With the basic auth setting, you can store the login information to bypass the auth and test the page. This is most useful for testing staging sites that are hidden behind basic auth. As this demo page is hidden behind basic auth, we were unable to successfully test the page. After adding the basic auth details and saving the setting, DebugBear will log into the page, then test the page speed, showing how fast this experience is for the user. We can also set HTTP headers to access the website's basic auth. Another use of this setting is to prevent the DebugBear agent from being blocked by your server or to exclude DebugBear requests from analytics. For example, here we can see an analytics request. If the analytics tool ignores income requests with specific HTTP headers, we can include those headers when running performance tests so that these visits are not tracked. Note that you cannot set the user agent header in this way. Instead, you need to change your test device settings to customize the user agent. Running JavaScript during the test can offer more control over your testing. For example, you could set a cookie that hides a GDPR notice, click a button once it appears on the page, or scroll down the page. Any snippet you add runs as soon as the page starts loading. After clicking the Create JavaScript Snippet button, some common examples are available via the drop-down when you click Show Code Examples. There are 6 default options available. When selecting an example, a template code is presented for you to adjust for your page. One of the most powerful uses of running JavaScript is to set up custom timing metrics. In this example, we are testing a search result page with the keyword of drill. We would like to know how quickly the first search image appears. After identifying the element and adding our JavaScript, we can find the results in the metric tab. The first search result image appears at 1.07 seconds. Blocking requests gives us more control over the tests we run. For example, we can block third-party requests to test the site itself, or you could block large images that are expected to change regularly, which may cause unwanted alerts. We can block request URLs directly, or block the domain using a wildcard. In this example, we have an intercom chat widget and an analytics request. Let's copy the complete request for the analytics, and we'll add the intercom domain as a wildcard. We can add the first request on the first line, then add the intercom domain with the asterisk wildcard on the second line to take care of those 2 requests that we saw. After running the tests, we can see that they are now no longer present in the request waterfall. We can also see the page weight metric has decreased. All future tests will block these requests unless a change is made to the blocking request list. If you are monitoring several pages with the intention of blocking these requests across every page, The block and request list can be selected for any pages in your project. Tags let you group pages into different categories and make it easier to filter the list of all monitored pages. This can be particularly useful when working with just one project. For example, you could tag competitor pages that you're monitoring or tag pages that are being tested in a certain location. We can create a new tag by typing the tag name into the input box. If you have tags already created, then these will be already available for selection. We can use the bulk edit option to apply tags to multiple pages, as well as remove tags from pages. If a tag is removed from all pages, then the tag is deleted. When searching for tagged pages in the project dashboard, we can use query selectors to filter what we need. For example, if we want to search for pages which contain both tags, then we can write the tags together. If we want to search for tags that have either tag, we can use the OR selector between tags.